Hello everybody, so today's video, as you probably guessed from the title, and if you saw a video I did about baling straw between the showers, you will know we had some straw out getting wet. Today we're spreading it out. So the video we filmed of the baling and the last little bit of that video you saw was the next morning after we had a bit of rain on it, and I said we baled one field and we had one getting wet. So that was filmed 12 days ago from today. So this field has been out getting wet for 12 days. It's not rained every day, we have had a few dry days. We did manage to clear the field that we baled that evening. So we got that in, and those bales dried out, we got those in good conditions. But it's only now it's come right, we've got a bit of settled weather ahead, so we're spreading this out now. So these swaths, they've actually had just a little bit short of 3 inches of rain on them, which is quite a lot of rain for August. But it was welcome in other areas, so you know we got to put up with that. Normally if we get some straw that catches some rain, what we'll do is when it's dried out a little bit, we'll just have the rake and tip it over on the dry ground and dry the bottom out. But this, it's just had too much on it, it's wet right through to the bottom. There's a lot of straw here, it's big swaths, and I think it would be too heavy for the rake. I think it's just too much, it's too wet. So we're coming through with a tedder and spreading it out. The tedder can cope with a heavy straw better than the rake would, because there is a risk of bending the arms on the rake, because they're not really designed for this kind of real heavy wet stuff. So we'll jump out in a minute and take a look at what the swaths are looking like. Right, so it's quite windy out here, which is good because it's drying. Hopefully you can hear me. So let's have a quick look at the straw. So top is dry, down in a little bit, that there is quite dry. It's surprising how far down in the dryness goes, but once you get down in the bottom, it's wet in the bottom, although this one actually it's quite dry right the way down. It's the first one I found that's as dry as this. So I've come to the headland road, so this is the first one I spread out now. And the top, the wind is blowing the top off very nicely. It's actually just a little bit damp underneath still. But by spreading it out, letting the wind and the sun do its work, we won't need to move this again. What we'll do is we'll leave it. Today's Tuesday, so we'll spread it today. We won't touch it tomorrow, and hopefully Thursday we can come back in. Whether we can rake and bale together or just rake it and bale it the next day, we don't know yet. But it's looking good. It's going to be all right. So if you saw the video a few weeks ago now about baling the barley straw, you might have noticed in that I said when you're baling with a big swath, you've got to go the opposite way to the combine to get it to go into the baler in any sense. Otherwise it's locked up in the pickup. Well, it turns out a tedder's just the same. It will only go, well it will go the opposite way, but it gets lumpy, it doesn't go through so well. But going the opposite way to what the combine travelled, it just goes through a lot easier. It doesn't bunch up and make lumps. So that's what we're doing, we're just going the opposite way all the time to what the combine did. This is a bit of a slow job. We've got to keep the forward speed down because we need to make sure we pick every bit of straw up from the ground and spread it out. where it's been down so long, it's had all the rain on it, it's kind of settled itself down onto the floor, and we need to just make sure we get it all moved. And also by going slower, it's taken the stress off the tether, because there's a lot of heavy wet stuff in there. To spread it out, just going at it steady. You don't want to break nothing. The tether's getting quite old now, but it's still perfectly serviceable, as long as you go steady at it, which is not really designed for this kind of work, for this amount of heavy stuff. So if we just go steady, it'll be all right. Right, so we're back now. We're into Thursday. So we spread this out on Tuesday. I'm not sure if I said the date in that video or not. I do like to tell you what date it is. So we spread this out on the 20th of August. So today is Thursday, the 22nd, and it's been dry. We've not had any more rain. It's been sunny and windy for 2 days now. So what we're doing now is we're raking it back up. One of the reasons we've always been a little bit nervous about tedding out straw is being able to rake it back in again tidily, because often once it's spread out straw, if it's short, you can't rake it up again. Now some of this is a little bit short, but it's quite a long sample really, and as you can see, we are picking it all up again, which is good. Don't want to leave any behind, and we don't want it, we want it all in the bales, and we don't want to lose any, and we don't want to be blocking up the plough, or if I don't know if they're going to cultivate this or direct drill it or what, but any straw left will block up whatever machines come in. So by making sure we clean it all up properly and get every bit of it, there's no issues. It's as good as if it had been dropped out of a combine, so there's no waste here. But there is one little issue I'm having. So the problem we're getting is on the headland swath, where I'm turning to get back in, it's making a bit of a mess. It's dragging up because it's quite a tall swath. The steps of the cab are just dragging the top off a little bit. So what I think I'm going to have to do is, when I finish, come round this end headland again, just tidy that back in. Although it's not as bad as what the combine would turn and make a mess, because the combines with tracks on, as they're turning on the end, that scuffs up swaths much worse than this. But I think I'll run round the end again anyway, just run at the two ends just to tidy it up. So what we're looking at here, this is the inside of the headland swath. So I've gone around 3 times, so there's three swaths across, and this part of the field here was the wettest. It's where it was wettest, and you can see, I'm not sure if the camera's showing up the colour very well, but the colour is much darker than it should be. You can see where it's been getting wet, it's lost the colour. So it could be, when we come to bed it out in the winter, it could be a bit more dusty, but we've got the bedding machine anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's perfectly dry. There's no issues with dry. It's not going to go mouldy or nothing. It just could be, because it's been wet and dry and wet and dry, it could be a little bit more dusty, but that's not the end of the world. We're not feeding it, it's only going to be bedding, so that doesn't matter. The combine is going again, but it's not cutting wheat that we have bought. It is cutting in a different block of land. So what I'm doing today, we're raking back up what we spread out to let it dry just that final little bit. It is almost there, it's 99% dry, but there's still 1 or 2 little wet bits. So what we're going to do, we're going to rake this up today, leave it until the combine comes back and finishes cutting the straw that we have bought, and then we will get a contractor to square bale it. So he will come in and square bale the whole block then, hopefully, assuming the weather stays fair enough to cut it in one go. So we won't round bale this, we'll get this. So this field will hurt for a couple of days to be raked up as it is. And they will then come in and bale the whole lot in one go. So it just leaves me to say, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give us a thumbs up for the video so we know if you like it or not. And I'll say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.